Good day, Brutal Planet listeners. This is Eric Peterson, and today I'm joined by Johanna Sadonis from the band Lucifer. How are you doing today?
Good, thanks.
Good.
What's up?
Where are you holding up with all the quarantining and stuff?
Well, it's very scary and creepy, everything. But we are hiding out in our house in the Swedish countryside. So not much is different out here. But of course, I'm reading the news every day, and it affects us as well because we had tours coming up that are being rescheduled now, for next year. And I see it with all our friends and so on and family. A lot of people are out of work. A lot of our friends are in bands and or are members, crew members, and so on. So it is it feels very uncertain and chaotic right now.
Well, it's just to go on that note, I think everybody should go to your Facebook page because I saw your profile picture and I love it.
My name is Lucifer. Please wash your hands.
Yes, yes.
I actually just changed that again, but yes, it kind of went around.
It was a great suggestion for everybody.
Well, I do hope that people stay at home, to kind of get the numbers down as fast as possible.
That's the only way we're going to end this thing is if people do what they're supposed to do.
Exactly.
So you guys just had your new album come out, Lucifer III, came out last week, correct?
Correct. Yes, on the 20th.
And how is the reception has it been with the fans?
So good. So far, so good. A lot of people were like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, you're putting out this album right in the middle of the virus crisis," and our agent was suggesting to, maybe delay the release, and I said no, we can't do that, especially now with people being at home, and people are waiting for their record in the mail and so on, and but that seemed to have worked out regardless, and maybe that is even like a positive side effect of everybody being home, is that people actually have time to listen to the record, and so far the reception seems to be pretty good.
Good.
I'm satisfied with the album, and it seems like people seem to dig it, but I don't want to be too big mouth about it.
No, I think you're right though. The fact that people are supposed to be at home and they inherently just want something, even if they're not fans of yours, it's a good way to get to explore. If somebody just happens to go out there and see you and go, "Wow, I wonder what this is all about," and then you automatically you dig them right into who you are and everything, and you got another fan. So I think it's a great opportunity, especially with the new album coming out for you guys.
Yeah, I think so too. The only thing is, like our agent said, yeah, but people can't go and buy the physical copy, but I think nowadays so many people order that stuff anyways online. It seems like some people have to wait a little, oh my God, I'm stuttering, a little bit longer. Can you say that again for me? A little bit?
Yeah.
But no, I think it actually worked in our favor.
I do too. So how was the recording for this album? Was it different than any previous recordings, or did you guys use the same concept just to make things flow smooth, or how did it all work out?
No, we work the same way as on the previous albums. The good thing is that we have our own studio at home where we did everything, and the great thing about that is that it's not like you have to block some time with a studio that you book for a lot of money and where you have to function exactly in those 10 days or 2 weeks or whatever bands book to record an album. So we can just go in whenever we have the time, in between touring or whenever you feel like it, for me, it's awesome. I can just put my slippers on and my pajamas and go over and record vocals. Not saying that I do it that way, but it is a luxury. And we just gradually worked out the songs at home, Nick and me, in between stuff, and then recorded it bit by bit. Not all in one block, but here and there over the course of the last winter. And Nick mixed the album here by himself.
Nice.
everything is kind of DIY, in our household and with the band in general, because we don't have a management and we do pretty much everything on our own. All the designs, all the different layouts and so on is all done here between Nick and me. And it's great. I love it. I'm a control freak. So,
well, is that? You obviously have friends that don't have that option because they're probably part of some kind of a management system and they have to follow guidelines or something. I'm sure it's nice for you. What do they? Are they jealous of you when you tell them that?
No, I think it's kind of crazy. A lot of our friends here in Sweden have their own studios. I don't think jealousy is so much a thing. I think we are all kind of supportive of each other, and but yeah, it is great because the record label doesn't even tell us what to do. We have a lot of freedom, which I really embrace. That is cool.
So on the album, some of the songs that I enjoy was, of course I enjoyed Ghost and Leather Demon were great songs, but I tend, like Coffin Fever and Stay Astray, those are two songs that I really enjoyed, and I wondered if you could give me some insights onto those songs, how they came about.
Coffin Fever was actually, I think that was a song we had left over from the second album, and it's really funny because now from both albums we have a lot of leftover stuff because not everything that we came up with now was used on the third album.
Oh, okay.
But Coffin Fever, I think, was some riffs that we didn't use on the second album because we already had Faux Pharaoh and we thought that was kind of enough doom for number 2.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it's funny because Coffin Fever is kind of relevant now.
Yeah.
I wonder how many people have that by now, staying at home.
Yeah.
Leather Demon? You asked about Stay Astray.
Stay Astray, yeah.
Stay Astray, yes. It is funny because that was a song that we almost did not want to take onto Lucifer III. We kind of made like a questionnaire towards the other guys in the band and also like close friends whose opinion we admire, asking them what they think the strongest and what the weakest songs are. And kind of we all agreed that Stay Astray was like one of the weakest songs, but it's really funny. Lately we've been speaking to a lot of people that really like Stay Astray, so I am very happy that we ended up taking it on the album. And Stay Astray is kind of about... it is funny because, a lot of people feel kind of punished having to stay at home. But for us, we always prefer to be kind of away. Nick and I, we're both kind of loners and kind of like a steppenwolf in a way.
Yeah.
And so that's not really punishment for us to be in quarantine,
Yeah.
We do that anyways. And that's what I wrote the lyrics about, that, I'd rather stay astray. I guess it's also a needed contrast. Of course, I do love going out on tour and socializing, and all that rock and roll stuff. I love that, but I also really love to come home and shut the door behind me. And we kind of live out in the country and we don't see any people, so yeah, that's what Stay Astray is about.
Nice. Because it's a great song as far as like just the guitar riffs in it and stuff like that. And then lyrically, that's what I like about it too. And it fits perfectly for the time right now.
Yeah, totally. It's funny.
So the other thing I was gonna ask you is, how would you describe or how would you fit this feel? This album, does it fit in the same kind of a feel as your previous albums, or do you feel like you went out on a limb and tried something different, or do you just kind of went with what you liked, which was the same as the last album?
Yeah, exactly. There's no concept behind it. We just kind of went song by song, whatever sprang to our minds and what felt good. And I would just see it more as a continuation of the last album. There's a lot of different moods and feelings. It's not a conceptual album, but it's all stuff that's kind of, close to our heart. And I guess an album is always sort of a mirror of where you are at that certain point in time, as a musician, but also emotionally, with the lyrics and so on. So, yeah, that's, the only thing maybe is that I thought it's good to lean a little bit stronger theme-wise into horror stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
That I did want, and hence the cover, and the titles that are like Coffin Fever and Ghosts and all that stuff.
Yeah. So then you guys just finished a tour in the U.S., right?
Yes, we just did another run. We did 3 runs in support of the last album. We did the East Coast first, West Coast, and the most recent one was in the South. We went through like Texas and Florida and so on. And that was awesome. We had a guest bass player, Phil Schaus, whom we have met on the Kiss Cruise where we played.
Oh, okay.
And he's usually playing with Gene Simmons and also the Ace Frehley band, and now he joined Accept as well.
Oh, really?
Because our last bass player, Alex, he dropped out due to burnout. So we were facing the problem, to get US visas as a band is quite difficult and expensive. So on that short notice, we could only ask somebody who's American to join us for the tour. So we asked Phil and he was up to it. So we had a great run. I was together with Savage Master and a really cool band from New York City called Overdose. You can look them up on Bandcamp and Facebook. Overdose, New York City. They, if you love Motorhead, you will love Overdose.
Nice. And so did you? I mean, when you guys are touring in the U.S., do you vary your set list versus your tours in the UK and the other parts of the world?
We don't. Our set list is always kind of adjusted, not by like the location or something, but just by, what is important at that moment in time. Like, I mean, now the next set list, for example, will of course have, stuff from the new album, but you also don't want to forget people who are into the first and the second album. And then we always throw in a bunch of covers because we love covering stuff live, it's a lot of fun for us. And so the set lists, they also depend a little bit how much stage time you have. Sometimes you play a festival in Europe and you only get like 30 minutes or 40 minutes versus a show where you're headlining, then you get to play over an hour. So it all depends on that.
So what are some of your favorite covers that you said you like to do covers? What are some of your favorite ones you like to do?
Bomber by Motorhead we've been doing a lot lately. Snowblind by Black Sabbath. Beer Drinkers and Hellraisers by ZZ Top. Just to name a few.
Those sound like, those are great ones. They fit your guys' style. And you guys have kind of been categorized as doom. Do you consider that an accurate description of your music?
Well, maybe more so on the first album. I would say, because the first album differs a little bit from the second and the third album. However, I think all the ingredients that I used on all 3 albums are always there. And that's a mix, it's kind of blend of like 70s heavy rock, a little bit of proto metal, and also a dash of doom. And it's just that the proportions are maybe different. There was more of the doom on the first album and maybe less of the hard rock, and now it's the other way around.
Yeah.
So there's definitely the element of doom is there. I wouldn't say we are a complete doom band. No, I consider Lucifer to be a hard rock band or a heavy rock band or whatever. But there is some numbers that are doom. Like Coffin Fever and. It's not as much as on the first album.
Because a lot of this stuff on the new album has almost a bluesy sound to it.
Yeah, as well. Yeah.
And I think that goes back to like some of the Black Sabbath-y sound. That kind of a vibe that it gives with that bluesy sound, and it gives it a different feeling. So it doesn't really come across as a classical doom sound to me.
Yes, exactly. All these bands back then, they were influenced by blues. And, there's so many different sides to Black Sabbath. I know there's a lot of bands that kind of are more into like that certain type of really heavy, fuzzy, dark riff, you know. But then there's so many more sides to Black Sabbath that are very poppy, you know, and it's so diverse. And I think we like to kind of rather be influenced by all of it, you know.
Yeah. So then the tour that you guys were going to start, the European tour, that got canceled, and you guys are going to reschedule it probably for later in the year or next year?
Yes, exactly. So since we've been to the States so much lately, our plan was to focus more on Europe this year, but our May tour now is right now being rescheduled for next year. We do have another European tour coming up in November, and we are hoping that that will still take place.
Oh, nice.
So there's going to be a bunch of festivals, and we're supposed to play Russia in October for the first time. We will come back to the States next year and to Canada. Nice. So hopefully everything will go down as planned from there on. Yeah.
So right now, how can Lucifer fans support you guys? What can they do to support you guys right now in this time after tour has been canceled? Did you have merchandise already printed for your European tour?
Yeah, we always, well, I'm actually not sure. The printer was supposed to print a lot. But the thing is, you know, I mean, we will need it hopefully later on. So then it will just have to sit in the warehouse for a while, you know. I mean, you can always support a band by buying their album, you know. I mean,
exactly.
That always enables a band to hopefully go on with what they're doing, you know, to enable them to continue.
Yeah. So my last question for you is I want to know, of any of your songs based on title or content, which song would you guys compare to the current state of the world right now?
Good one. Current state of the world. Well, I mean, I would just say Coffin Fever again, you know, to give it a bit of a comical twist, you know, if you're trapped in and you're kind of feeling that hand around your throat, you know, because I think it is very important, even in, you know, in dark times like this, to keep humor, because that's what is the tool to get you through everything, you know.
Yeah, very much. Well, that's a good advice, because I mean, we all need something to laugh about, especially in times like these. Well, Johanna, I appreciate your time, and everybody go out and buy your guys' new album, Lucifer III. It's out now. Is it on record?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, there's so many different vinyl versions, and the great thing about that is that they all contain a CD, because we asked our record label to do like download vouchers, you know, but they thought CDs are better. So yeah, there's plenty of vinyl versions available. If you go to lucifer.church, you can find all the different links.
Cool. Well, thank you, Johanna. I appreciate your time, and I wish you guys the best of luck in this trying time, and hopefully you'll come back to the States, and I would love to come and see you guys live. So
thank you very much. It was a pleasure talking to you, and I hope you stay safe, and I hope to see you down the road.
Yes.